Good day, my dear postgraduate students. Welcome to SNIP. The topic for the day is PAPNET. We shall see what it is. And the legendary person on the screen is Papa Nicolau, and it's not me. There are scary questions staring at us from the university question paper, and these are terrible for the teachers alike. There is nothing so useless as doing efficiently that which should not be done at all. Peter Drucker. And this is exactly what you and I are doing right. Think of the subheadings. The subheadings will take you to the answer. Concentrate on the keywords such as biological and artificial neurons, diagrams, PAPNET system, limiting body, etc. So this is the routine procedure, which has been a revolution. After this gentleman took it up, there has been a marked fall in the incidence of malignancy of the cervix. There is, of course, a meticulous work and it is subject to error. These are inbuilt troubles. And also, you find that there is an equally fast advance in the field of gynecology. Look at this breast cytology, thanks to Mayo Clinic. There are some difficulties which are being faced in the conventional procedures. Initially, you find that this was limited to the cervical smears, but now this technique of PAPNET has been extended to others also. So we shall be seeing them. And also you find that conventional smears have got an increased incidence of false negativity. There are fewer abnormal cells. Increased smears are needed for screening. Fatigue is faced by the pathologist or the cytologist. Subjectivity is always over there. Lack of the clinical details haunts all of us, and even invasive malignancies have been missed. If it is going to be so very frank, it is fine. But subtle details have been missed, and we only see the biopsy having the malignancy a few days later. PAPNET. PAPNET is a system which is automated and interactive for the analysis of conventional Papa Nicolau cervical smears. So PAP is Papa Nicolau, NET is of course the automation. It is a form of cytology automation. This itself is a question for us, but does not attempt to diagnose the cellular abnormalities. There is no element of diagnosis that is directly involved in the PAPNET. What it does is it assesses the images and abnormal smears are left to the opinion of the second cytologist. Believe nothing you hear and only half of what you see. Edgar Allan. PAPNET has got two stages. One is called algorithmic classifier and the other is a neural network. These two keywords you shall and will remember for flexibility and precision. This is a robotic cervical pap smear making machine, and this helps in feeding into the computer. It does not attempt to diagnose the psychological abnormalities, and it is interactive, leaves the assessment to the human observers. Very clever. You find that there are certain bodies which are controlling us, and so is this. In the United States, there has been a clinical laboratory improvement which has given the guidelines, and one of the first things it has said is there has to be an increase in the accuracy of the diagnosis. And to add fuel to the fire, we have got our own NABL, which talks more about the turnaround time than the diagnosis itself. Blend of both. PAPNET is a computerized imaging system that makes use of the neural network. Neural is a word that you people should remember. I shall come back to it. It is used to detect the abnormal cells used in the conventionally prepared and stained smears, mainly for the precancerous and the cancerous conditions. So it is used for a quality control, and it also reduces the false negativity. What are your comments on this picture? This is, of course, very important. So obviously, this person is not looking at a slide and does not appear to be very engrossed in cytopathology also, but seems to be a very good computer technologist. So what we had seen there was a screening apparatus. There is a review station, Automated microscopes with low scanner and high power objectives. Automatic focusing device, a Sony or a Leica camera, which means an advanced camera. Automatic stage for moving the slides and storage unit for it, and then the robotic arm, a system manager and a neural network. These are all technological terms which is in no way connected with pathology. But okay, it is useless to explain to a person who is already holding a conclusion. And that is the exam. This is the key diagram, and all that I have read earlier are reflected in this picture. You find this is something like a microscope wherein a slide is being fed after all the precautions. You find that the image is being captured with the Sony camera that I had been mentioning, and this is fed on to the image processing unit. Also, you find simultaneously that can be the various things, such as the robotic control, the stage focus control, etc., which can again provide all the details which are required. These also can be later on given to the cytologist for an opinion. So this particular person, Cos, I would like to call him the father of cytology, not the aspiration cytology. But here it's more of the fluid, etc. You find that there is a series of pictures looking almost normal. Then there is a mild dysplasia like thing. I'm not very sure about it. And then there is a crowding of cells with inflammatory cells in the background. Hyperchromatic nuclei are also seen. So the PAPNET system, it is a wonderful article. I would like you people to kindly go through it. One of my major references. I would like you people to kindly recall the stations that I had mentioned earlier. So there is a review station over here. Images are being stored in the optical disc. There is a magnifying frame, and then the pixel is the camera itself. It displays everything, and these are being collected. The problems here will be the balancing of the colors. What you and I are seeing as colors of the Papanicolo might not be taken up by the camera or HNE and so on. So alpha and beta machines with different resolution imaging are there to solve this problem. The operation principle is PAPNET uses algorithmic as well as a neural network. This is important. A classical computer is a step-by-step monitor, whereas neural is somewhat complex as the human brain. So again, I'm repeating it. You find that there is a reception of the sample. It is being processed. Slides are being prepared. They are being stained and then fed onto the machine. There is a whole slide imaging and areas are being chosen, after which it goes to the server. From that, there is a workstation which uploads it, and onto it, there is a laboratory information system which picks up everything, again stores it in the computer. Neural network. It is a relatively new computer technology. Numerous flexible associations are there. And you please remember that the human brain is better than the best of computers. Resembles a network of neurons in the human brain, and a large amount of variable information can be stored. And it solves complex pattern of recognition. So this is what is happening. There is an image acquisition, enhancement, and there is a segmentation. Debris are being removed. There is extraction, selection, classification of it. Finally, a diagnosis is being made over here. And the cytotechnologist is another person who monitors and feeds. The types of neural network. Feed-forward neural network, radial basis, recurrent neural, convolution neural network. This is most important. Modular neural network and back propagation network. And this is a reference for it. This is an important slide, the biological and the artificial neurons. This is a biological neuron that we have got. You find that there are the dendritic processes, the cell as such, and then the axon. So dendrite has the input signals over here. The cell body does the processing. Axon fires the information to the next neuron. That is what is shown over here. And the other one is artificial neurons. Similar to the dendrites, there are input signals, and this is the weight of it or the load of the information, which is processed in a node. And then there is an output signal, which is again being measured in the form of the details. The applications of the neural network are, initially it was for gynec cytology, now for non-gynec also, breast and thyroid, GAT, exfoliative in the urine and effusion cytology. The disadvantages of this is large amount of data is needed Institutional collaboration is also needed. If ANN is wrong, who is responsible? Medical legal issues can be there. There can be difficulty in settling the algorithmic rules. The advantages, however, are large quantities are screened, no subjective element, lesser error. It is only necessary to have the courage, for strength without self-confidence is useless. I hope this is reflected in the topic for the day. Thank you.